36 days before Election Day, Donald Trump finds himself addressing a new controversy, this time over his taxes. Right now, the Republican nominee is addressing a crowd in Pueblo, Colorado. Moments ago, he responded to a New York Times report that alleges he might have legally avoided paying any federal income tax for 18 years.
The unfairness of the tax laws is unbelievable. It's something I've been talking about for a long time, despite, frankly, being a big beneficiary of the laws. But I'm working for you now. I'm not working for Trump. As a businessman and real estate developer, I have legally used the tax laws to my benefit and to the benefit of my company, my investors, and my employees. I mean, honestly, I have brilliantly used those laws.
His opponent, of course, pounced on the New York Times report.
Trump represents the same rigged system that he claims he's going to change, taking from America with both hands and leaving the rest of us with the bill. What kind of genius loses $1 billion in a single year? This is Trump to a T. He abuses his power, games the system, puts his own interests ahead of the country's. It's Trump first and everyone else last.
The Trump team sees the story as a huge positive for the candidate.
The reality is he's a genius. What he did was he took advantage of something that could save his enterprise, and he did something we admire in America. He came back. The art of the deal is all about that. He talks about it. So did Steve Jobs. So did Winston Churchill. I'd rather have a genius like Donald Trump running this country than someone like Hillary Clinton.
There's no one who's shown more genius in their way to maneuver around the tax code and to rightfully use the laws to do that. This is a guy who, when lots of businesses went out of business in the early 1990s, he fought and clawed back to build another fortune, to create tens of thousands of more jobs. And this is actually a very, very good story for Donald Trump.
More importantly, what does Bill O'Reilly think? Yes, he's our fabulous special guest today, and he's going to tell us. So, did you hear he's also got a new best-selling book out called Killing the Rise and All the Others Needed Company? Yes. And we're going to talk to him about it a little bit later in the program, but first, let's pick his brain on politics. So what do you think about this story, Trump taxes? Is it something that should resonate? Do you think that it will, for people to say they don't want to vote for this guy because he got a break and lost money and played with the tax code?
Well, there's three tiers. The Trump supporters are still going to support him. That's not going to, erode their support of him. The people who loathe him are going to loathe him more. All right? They're going to say he's a rich fat cat and everything that we don't like. The ones in the middle are interesting. The counterattack is, listen, I took advantage of a legal situation. And then you have to ask yourself, and I have asked myself that question, if I were Trump and I had casinos that were losing $1 billion, would I take the write-off? And the answer is, yes, I would. I would. And I think 95% of business people would take the write-off. What are you going to say? No, I'm not going to take it because my enterprises went south? It doesn't make any sense. So therefore, most Americans are intellectually going to understand what he did was what anybody would do. And remember, he wasn't a politician. He's a businessman now. But he has to sell it now, and it was pretty shrewd what he did in Colorado by saying, hey, look, I know that this isn't right. And if I get elected, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it not this way. Might be able to get away with that. He's got to really sell it hard.
Okay. All right, Bowling, so take us through kind of the tax issue. He said, and they keep emphasizing the talking points, his team and the surrogates, saying what he did was legal, that he took advantage of the tax code as it was written.
Totally legal. I'm not sure it was genius, because it's a tax code. That's what any good accountant will tell you to do. What likely happened was the casinos were probably losing money for years going in to 95. He took the loss in 95. But in the prior years, he didn't take the loss, so he probably showed an income. He paid tax on that. So what do you do with a $900 million loss? You roll it forward like anyone else will do. I'll give you the best example I could possibly find. I did some homework. Warren Buffett, the liberal icon, the hero of the left, including the Clintons, lost $873 million in 2014 in a company called Energy Futures Holding Corp. I would be willing to bet a lot of money that Warren Buffett is using the exact same tax code that Donald Trump used in 1995 to take that loss, roll the loss forward against profits going forward, or profits in the same year or going forward, because that's what you do as a good businessman.
All right, Dan, let's talk about the messaging here. So you see a bunch of the surrogates going here. You saw Chris Christie, you saw Rudy Giuliani saying, look, this is a guy who wants to make America great again. He knows how to make a comeback. He lost everything and he came back from it.
Well, I think that obviously they were on their game, their conference call, ready to go. I don't know if they knew it was coming, because it was obviously they were all saying the exact same thing. Message discipline, gotta love it. I have to say, though, as a former spokesperson, I think if they had asked me to say that he was a genius, I would have said, go jump in a lake, because I'm not saying that. Because I think that it does have a good point if he believes it, that he wants to change the tax code so that it doesn't benefit people like him. But it's October 3rd, and this is the first time that he's actually making this point.
Can I interrupt, Miss Dana?
Of course.
If she says yes.
And this isn't a pro-Trump statement, because, as you know, I'm neutral on this thing. I'm trying to cover the thing as fairly as I can. Isn't it genius when you're down to the nub and you're losing $916 million? Isn't it genius when you turn it around and then become one of the most wealthy individuals on the face of the earth?
Well, I think you could, and I'm not making an anti-Trump statement by saying what I'm going to say in response to that, which is you can say that, okay, fine, you took advantage of the laws. As Eric says, it might not be genius, it is legal. But as an American, you could say, is this right overall? Maybe on the left, it is almost treasonous to not pay your fair share.
You're talking about Trump now. Would you ascribe him the word genius for turning around a company that was on the verge of extinction?
I don't know. I'm not a businessman. I don't have any money.
I think that's a provocative question.
Okay. But I am also saying that if you are wanting to run for president of the United States, this is a story that he's known about for all of his adult life. They could have got this out in May.
Yeah,
they wait until October 3rd.
Get it out of the way.
It comes on the day, and the days after he's perceived to have lost the first debate. And the first thing is that, oh, he's a genius. I just think that the talking point for them could have been a lot better if he had been actually talking about reforming the tax code before October 3rd.
All right, Greggins.
Well, I mean, the bad news is Trump lost his shirt in the 90s. The good news, the shirt was made in China.
That was
so we're okay with that. Look, Soros lost.
Look at O'Reilly's face.
Yeah, it's always the same. He's like Mount Rushmore without the charm. All right, George Soros lost $1.5 billion in 6 months. So the fact is, you do not pay taxes on a loss. That's how long the story should last. You do not pay taxes on a loss, whether it's moral or immoral. That's a fact. The thing I find most interesting is that I like Trump's. This is what I find to be genius. Trump wants to change the system to stop people like Trump. He's like the guy. If you want to build a great safe, you hire a safe cracker, right? That's exactly.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the argument that he's using, and someone should have written that line for him.
No, here's the best line that you missed.
What?
He goes, "I was working for my company then. No, I'm not. I'm working for you."
Right. Yeah.
All right. So look, I understand the visceral reaction that most people will have on this. And Trump's going to have to really sell it hard Sunday night. He's going to have to sell it hard because they're coming at him.
I think
Raddatz is coming at. No, it will.
Yeah.
Raddatz will come at him. Cooper will come at him. Hillary will come at him. He's got 3 coming at him. All right, and they're going to say, "Look, you're a dunderhead," and he's going to have to be. If he reacts emotionally, he'll lose. He's just going to have to Jack Webb it. You remember Jack Webb, right?
Yeah.
You knew him, didn't you?
I thought he was like trying to figure out how I got home.
Just the facts.
So what do you think, Juan? Is this something that's it's a big win for Hillary? That's something that might stick?
Well, he's having a terrible week. I mean, just go back a week to the debate. It was a bad showing. Then we had the whole incident with the Miss Universe, right? And he was terrible and tweeting in the middle of the night. And now this, it's been a tough week. And so as a result, you've got Republicans in Washington who were ringing over the weekend who are just in a tizzy over, like, what is going on with Donald Trump? This guy's off message. Everything that Kellyanne Conway has done seems like right now has unraveled. They're hoping she doesn't get blamed, that she doesn't get thrown under the bus. But the campaign itself feels like it's out of control, and he's behaving erratically. This whole idea that he's a genius was so much spin, so ridiculous. I mean, if he's such a genius, as both of my colleagues have said, he would have put this out a long time ago and said, well, this is just a fact. But he's hiding and still hiding, his tax return. But let me finish. So we've got a guy here who borrowed billions of dollars. Oh, what a brilliant business. That's the premise of his campaign. I'm a brilliant businessman. Let me work for you. He borrowed $3 billion He then goes and loses almost another $1 billion. We're not even sure it was his money. It could have been creditors' money. He takes advantage of it. He says the military is breaking out, but he's not supporting the military. He's not supporting the cops. He's not supporting the school kids. I think this is terrible.
He's not supporting the cops
but
and those areas.
If you're not paying taxes, I'm paying taxes.
This man has not paid taxes.
He does not pay taxes.
Are you going to go so far as to say he doesn't pay taxes or hasn't paid taxes?
I don't know about hasn't for all time.
I will guarantee you he pays the minimum amount of tax that you legally can and possibly should pay, Juan. But for you to say he doesn't pay.
You shifted, Eric. A moment ago you said he did the right thing for his creditors, his employees.
Yeah,
you know what?
He did.
He rebuilt. He's a genius. You know what he did? He relied on money he got from his daddy, and little Richie Rich screwed up and lost daddy's money.
If you take away the ability to write off a business loss, if you take that out of the tax code, you're going to bury small businesses in America.
That's fine. I didn't say that. I didn't say
out of business.
He can, as you pointed out,
shut the shop.
What he did was legal. But I'm saying to you that in political terms,
you don't pay taxes on a loss.
I think here's the distinction between the candidates.
Warren Buffett.
What Trump was trying to hide was embarrassing but not illegal. He doesn't want to look like a bad businessman, so he hid it because it was embarrassing, not illegal. What Hillary shields is a mishandling of classified information, not necessarily embarrassing, but illegal.
It wasn't illegal.
It is.
No, it's not. FBI. Look, we know that that's not illegal, so let's forget that.
Well, what she did,
she knew it was illegal. She knew she was breaking the law.
The FBI said she didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
It wasn't illegal.
There was no intent.
That was their interpretation, but it is illegal to put out classified information.
My point is he's not a good businessman.
But that's your opinion.
Oh, it's my opinion. If I lost that much money, if you said, hey, Juan, I want to invest my wealth with you, Bill O'Reilly's money and Juan Williams' hands, and I lost that,
if you had made it back and you had the Juan jet, then I'd say, hey, look at the Juan jet.
Oh, yeah.
All right? And he learned his lesson, and now he's making money for everybody.
I have a Juan jet, but it's in a hot tub. Hey, can I ask you a question to you, Eric? Is it okay?
That's one hot tub I'd skip.
Billionaires lose money.
Yes.
It's a fact. But is it okay? Is it impossible? I mean, with a casino, isn't it hard to lose money with a casino?
No. Because there were 18 other casinos.
Yeah, and they're down to like 3 now.
Right.
So 15.
And Mo Green was skimming all the money off the top. Didn't you see The Godfather too?
Many times.
Yeah.
This business loss, being able to write that off, is the essence of American business right there. It allows mom and pop to go on the corner and open a bodega, because if they lose, they have to be able to write that off and try again, Juan. If you take that away from American business, we're toast.
Those are also the people, though, that if they have the loss, that's why I think he's had the wrong reaction to this. The bodega guy, if they have the loss, they're going to worry for the rest of their lives that if they don't pay their taxes, that the IRS is going to come after them. They don't have the kind of lawyers that he can have and the accountants that will be able to figure it all out for him so they can take advantage of all the laws. And just a little bit of empathy just wouldn't hurt from him. Instead of saying, I'm so brilliant because I did it. No, I followed the law, and I want to make the laws better so that it can't help people like me.
But that's what he said.
No, it'd be helpful if his plan actually did that, but it doesn't. It helps commercial real estate guys. If you really wanted it to help them, it would be something that would actually take more money from rich people and put it into the coffers. Maybe we don't think that's a good idea, but that would be a better message at this point.
This is really good, A Block. Was it because he was here?
Yes.
I think it was.
All right.
Yes, it was. Of course it was.
All right, you just supersized the 5. All right.